to JoeJoeMoto. We're back in the shed for another KTM 200 rebuild episode. Bit of bad news. Unfortunately, last thing you saw, we sent this motor off with Mr. Reese to get him to crank down the big nut here, which is left-hand thread, whatever. Anyway, yeah, he found a nice big rattle gun and gave it a good hit, but unfortunately it was a little too much. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Just cranked down too much on it. Kind of my fault, I feel, a little bit. You know, I just said just smash it, give it a good hit, get another turn, or a quarter of a turn, I think I said on there. But it got a decent hit, and unfortunately it has stripped the thread on the crank. So I took it to a machine shop. Machine shop said that we should be able to repair the thread, but we do have to get the crank out of the engine and possibly even get the con rod off the crank. So fingers crossed we don't need to do that. Fingers crossed it's just the crank, but it means that all of the stuff that we've done, I'm going to take it all off again. But anyway, we'll get into this, get the crank out, split the cases again, and zap it off to the machine shop, get them to fix this thread, and it's all going to be sweet, I'm sure. That was a bit easier to get off this time, wasn't it? Thanks, Mr. Reese, for doing what the manual asked for with greasing the threads or anti-seizing. Good job. Nice. So we're up to needing the puller to get this flywheel off, and I don't think we got it. I think Mr. Reese might have it. Hey Reese, how are ya?
Good, dude.
Yeah, nah. Oh, alright. Hey, do you know where the flywheel puller is? I've looked around heaps, hey. Hey, I was looking for just the tool. It was sitting there and it's packed upside down. Awesome, okay. Cool, easy as. Phew! Thank goodness. Unfortunately, this is like the, third time we've had to use this thing, but anyway, I love my little, I don't know, what's it called, key frame? Key, something like that. Oh. Okay, crank is out. It's only about half an hour job sort of thing, just to take my time and do it all carefully and properly. So we'll take this back to the machine shop now and get them to see what they can do about this thread. Fingers crossed we don't have to get the rod removed because it needs to be pressed out and whatever, and I don't have all the tools and things to do that, and then putting it back together and getting it rebalanced and whatever. So hopefully they can strap that down to be able to put it on the lathe to spin around or whatever to fix the thread. I'll try and give you a little look at the thread there. Absolutely mashed. So we'll see what they can do to fix that. So that's it for now. I'll be back later, hopefully with some really good news about that getting fixed easily. Get this all back to where it was. Mr. Reese back in the shed, and keep going on the journey of getting this engine going. Alright, g'day and welcome. We're back here in the shed. After last time I was talking to you guys about pulling the motor apart to get the crank out. So we've got the thread repaired from some engineering place, and they've done the thread again. It is left-hand thread, which is awesome. Supplied us with a nut ready to go, so we're going to be whacking it all back together and seeing how it goes. Fingers crossed we sort of, don't run into any problems on the way through. So it's going to be the same as last time. We're going to be putting the crank in, putting a little bit of grease on that gasket again if we need to, a bit of grease on those bolts, putting the cases back together, and just start, just putting it all back together. Alright, let's do it.
I just can't remember which one is what.
just put the stator on, and before Reese does that, we've just set, there's a setting mark there, like almost like a timing mark sort of thing. So we've set it to be a little bit tamer, we hope. And now Reese is putting the flywheel on, and we get a bit of fun to do the flywheel weight again. This side of the motor is done now. Sprocket's back on, flywheel weight, everything on this side is done, so we'll flip it over and start putting on all the gear stuff and primary gear drive and all the other gear.
So what are we doing here, Joe?
Oh my god.
Oh no. Oh no.
Bloody things. Boom. Oh yeah. Little issue we're coming into here was the new threading that they've done here. They've given us a nut, which is awesome. This was the old nut, which I didn't give to them, so it's basically my fault. But you can see the new nut is a lot thicker, and we're just, you know, sitting proud of the end of that. So we're just checking our clearances now with where it's going to sit, and if we need to, we can, you know, trim down the nut. Yeah, it's looking pretty
Yeah, it's touching already.
touching there now, is it? Yeah. It must be really close, even just the end of the crank there too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into fixing this nut then. Okay, that'll do it. Here's the factory nut, and here's the one that we prepared. Alright, so our altered nut is ready to go, and we've greased up the mating surfaces, and we've put some thread lock on where the threads are going to meet, and we'll 180 Newton meters was what it called for last time. This is the point where we were at last time, where it didn't feel like we were getting enough crank on it, but we're just going to do it, you know, just mega tight. But not 900 Newton meter rattle gun tight, I guess. So yeah, we're just going to crank it right down, and I'm sure it'll be fine. That'll do. Alright, so I've just tested the Bosch impact driver here on a wheel stud, on a wheel nut I should say, and we can get 120, 130 Newton meters out of it. So we're going to be using this to crank down the nut there, and we'll just go as much as we can. We'll just test it slowly and just see in case something starts to feel a bit funky. We'll stop obviously. Okay, that's all I'm game to go just now. Like one of the tightest nuts I've ever done. Like as in that's crazy tight. This isn't gonna be that won't be. you happy with where that is?
Yeah.
Like that's cranked so tight.
Yeah.
Okay, so primary drive gear is on. We've got Kickstarter all sorted now. It's a bit tricky. We had to sort of pull it out and then a few times to line it up so that we can get the spring part here lined up so that it has, you know, the right amount of tension, because it just sort of wasn't enough tension, but now we got it just right. So all pre-tensioned, all in and ready to go. And goes the clutch basket. Maybe. Bloop, bloop. Ding, 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 ding. Alright, so we're up to installing the clutch, and unfortunately Mr. Reese has to go early-ish today, and we didn't soak the clutch fibers and everything, which we should have done right at the start of the day, but
You didn't.
maybe I knew about that before and sort of didn't really think about it. So they have to be soaked before we put them in, you know, for at least a couple of hours. So yeah, we'll just do a few other things, and then we'll next time we come, or I might do it one night or something like that, soak them and get them in there. So yeah. So this side of the motor is done. So this side of the motor is done now. Go away.
It'll just come out of shot. It'll just be like.